From time to time, we all need to do tasks that require some creative thinking. For some of us, this comes naturally and we love it. For others, you cringe at the thought. But even if you're naturally creative-minded, sometimes it just doesn't flow as easily as you would like it to. So today I would like to share with you my top 5 tips for getting the creative juices flowing. Tip number 1, invite yourself into a creative space. What do I mean by this? Well, sometimes when we come into the need to do something creative, where we are coming from may not have been particularly creative. If you just spent the last hour wrangling cells in a spreadsheet or wrangling a pile of dishes, you may not be ready to just get creative. So give yourself permission to leave the previous space and enter a new space. This might mean 3 nice, slow, deep breaths. It can be as simple as that. It's a closing out of the old space and a moving into the new space. You can now enter this new space with a clear mind and a fresh perspective, ready for a creative task. Tip number 2. When you're getting into that creative state, sometimes you get started and then you just run out of juice before you get finished. So tip number 2 is about how you can get that level of creativity up even when you're feeling it start to wane. So one of my favorite ways to do this is by introducing a restriction. That sounds counterintuitive, but it's actually amazing what it can do for your mind. So quite often this can mean giving yourself a time pressure. Invent a deadline that doesn't exist. You can let tasks fill whatever space you allow them to consume sometimes. So saying you're going to do it in this much space puts the pressure on, increases the intensity and the urgency of it, and all of a sudden you can have another burst of creativity. Tip number 3, introduce some inspiration. So what I mean by this is that if you're all used up in your own creativity, you can't find anything else internally, look to another source, look to another person, look to another company, a mentor, someone you look up to, and assume their mindset. What would they do if they were in your shoes? What would they do in this position? How would they tackle this challenge? And you can try different personas and different hats to bring different perspectives to the task at hand. Tip number 4, try another angle. Sometimes we have a certain way we go about things. If we are drafting a document, we might always start with bullet points. Sometimes all you need is to shake it up and start somewhere else. When I'm teaching people to start taking visual notes or sketchnoting, my first piece of advice is always get rid of your lined notebook, get some blank pages, and don't start top left corner like you always do. Start in the middle, start in the bottom right, start anywhere else other than where you would usually start. Because if you start where you usually start, you're probably going to fall straight into the pattern of what you would usually do, which quite often is bullet points. So the same goes with the creativity aspect of any task. If you are running out of ideas, if you're coming at it from a flat place, if you're looking for inspiration where you don't have any, start somewhere different. If you would start in a word processor, start with a Post-it and a Sharpie. Pick up a piece of chalk and draw on a chalkboard. Draw on the footpath whatever. Just start somewhere different. And tip number 5, find a buddy. Collaboration is one of the best ways to introduce creativity, get some diversity of thought and diversity of perspectives for a task. If you don't have to do it alone, why do it alone if you can invite others in to the task? Get their thoughts, get their perspectives, bounce ideas off them. Look at things in different ways. Have a conversation. This is often one of the richest ways of finding creativity, finding innovation, and bringing fresh thought to what can feel like a stale problem. So there are my top 5 tips for finding creativity when you're feeling like you don't have any. I hope you enjoyed those. If you did, please comment below. Let me know what you liked. And if you'd like me to do another video on another topic, I'd love to hear about that too. Let's just start talking. Let's collaborate. Start with a comment. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do that below.